1978, January 4, my professor said, "You are not a person who should join as a college lecturer. You should try to achieve something, but I don't know what you have to achieve. You decide. I give a pen to you. Don't use this word for writing anything except your PhD thesis." Like that he said, and he just vanished from there. I mean, disappeared from there. That day I resigned from my job. I went to Hyderabad, did my PhD. The shortest period taken by a student for doing his PhD from that laboratory. Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, IICT Hyderabad. We a group of scientists working in CSIR, ISRO, ICMR, Atomic Energy, Technopark. We came together and we started learning true scientific and technological heritage of India. And we compiled all these informations both in English and the regional language Malayalam. And all the materials available with scientific proof and historical evidence, wherever archaeological evidences are possible. Those informations were also collected and presented to the public as books, small notices, cassettes and CDs. Up to now we have brought out nearly 236 cassettes. Nearly 3.2 million cassettes have gone to the society. None of these cassettes and CDs have got copyright. Anybody can take copy and spread the message. Nearly 5 lakh copies of the books was taken to the public. Nearly 1 million notices, brochures containing abstract knowledge of Indian heritage. We are doing our level best and lot of success. I am sure that. But 5 years ago, it is not our effort alone. Many people have done this type of work. 5 years ago, every scientist will say that you are simply telling that we have got that thing and this thing and this thing. We don't believe it. Even if you submit the proof, why you did not tell it earlier? After the foreigners telling all these things, you are telling all these points. So, we cannot believe it. What we convey them, it is true that it is your heritage and my heritage. It was available in the books printed. Now I am bringing it to you because I saw you only now. You could have done it earlier. Books were available here for the last 1500 years. You did not open, that means it is your mistake. It is not our forefathers' mistake. So, when I say that during this period, so and so discovery was made, it does not mean that all these things should be informed to you. You should have learned it earlier. Your forefathers should have learned it earlier. And your ignorance and your mistake you are putting on me or somebody else. But then they get convinced reasonably. So they start doing some work. At least they stop denigrating India, belittling India. That is what our aim. If you don't know, don't worry about it. You may not know it. You need not know everything. But don't belittle India saying that. We are fools. We are not arbitrarily telling that Bhaskaracharya too has written a book during 1148. We are not telling that because he has given the date. We are telling Aryabhatiyam is written during 499 AD. 499 AD is 105 years, 110 years before Sir Isaac Newton. Sorry, 1005 years before Sir Isaac Newton. It's not a joke. 1 millennia before Sir Isaac Newton, we have discovered so many things. Proof is there. Sir Isaac Newton's date of birth, Aryabhata's date of birth. See, if I am going on telling that zero is discovered in India, we have discovered decimal place. We have discovered much more complicated things than the so-called zero and Pythagoras theorem. When I say to you, for an American fellow, that in India we make pins, ball pin. What does it mean? We make even submarines here. We make all our jumbo jet and other things here in India. When we make so much fantastic, outstanding technological contribution in India, we are telling that we make a camphor and a ball pin here. It's the basic of something. Like that, our zero or Pythagoras theorem or the decimal place, these are all the most LKG level of, but we have got theorems and other things and technology and science. I say in every branch which you are not in a position even to imagine. You know, Bharadwaja has written a book known as Amshubodhini. A small part of Amshubodhini is known as Yantra Sarvasva. Yantra Sarvasva has got 140 chapters. Each chapter explains about one very big equipment or instrument. Out of the 140 equipment, yantras, the 40th chapter is Vimana Yantra. So remember, a very big book, Amshubodhini, a small part of that Yantra Sarvasva. Yantra Sarvasva has got 140 chapters, of which one chapter is Vimana Tantra. In Vimana Tantra or Vimana Shastra. In Vimana Shastra, there are 16 type of Vimanas. 16 type of Vimanas are explained in that. It starts with this Loka. Loka Lokandaram Yaddat Dvipa Dvipandaram Tada Desha Deshandaram Jaiva Yo Ambare Gandumarhati Savimana Iti Prokta Keda Shastra Vidambaraihi. For going from one loka to another loka, one island to another island, from one country to another country in a vehicle which travels through the sky. Yo Ambare Gandum Arhati Saha, that is called Vimana. Name is given by Keda Shastra Vidambaraihi, space scientists, and they have given this name. So there was a concept called Keda Shastra. There is explanation of Vimanas. Like this you can see it. Whether Vimana was existing or aeroplane was existing during then. It is further to be investigated. I cannot say yes or no. I can say one thing very, very clearly. The concept existed in India. Explanation given about the Vimana and all other parameters present there gives us a lot of scope for investigating that. If you feel worth investigating. But if you feel it is not worth investigating, keep quiet. Don't denigrate ourselves. That is the important thing. But you can see in the Vimana Tantra book available, the last page, if you are going through that one, not less than 1,700 Europeans are studying that now. 1,700 institutes and doing the research on Vimana Shastra now. So it's not a joke. Throughout Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland and other places. In fact, I came to know that in IISc Bangalore, 2 Italian professors came over there and gave a lecture on Vimana Tantra from Italy. So this is something wonderful. This is information I got from the professor from IISc. So when Italy people, German people and Switzerland people, America, English people can do research on Indian subject, is it not for us too easy to do that one because Sanskrit scholars are available here? 1928 it is discovered by Heisenberg. It has revolutionized the whole physics known as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. But it is mentioned here in our book very, very clearly. Eka bhavena cha ubhayan anavadharanam. At a stretch, you cannot find out 2 complementary properties. As far as the modern thing, why we use it in the Heisenberg uncertainty principle? We want to know the position of electron. It is impossible because it is going on traveling. If you want to understand the position of electron, you can focus on position but not on velocity. If you want to know the velocity of electron, you can focus on velocity but not on position, because these two are complementary property. Position and velocity of electron, both are complementary properties. You cannot find out in single strikes. That's the modern application. It has got lot of application, not one or two, lot of application. And like this is applicable for the planet also. This is applicable for a component also. This is applicable for the IR information coming from the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto and other thing. You can also see that one. This is the theory applicable for if some meteorites fall on the earth. Some meteorites fall. So either you can find out its velocity or you can find out the position. Simultaneously you cannot find exact value. So one theorem known as Grigory's theorem. Vargair yujamba Dvigunair niregair Vargikritayir Varjita Yugma Vargaihi Vyasam cha Shadiknam Vibhajet Balam Swam Vyase Trinikne Paridhi Stadasyat. Take an even number, take its square, multiply with 2, subtract 1 from that, take the square of that, subtract the even number square from that one, repeat this for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on even numbers. Use the value for dividing 6 times the diameter of the circle, add these to 3 times the diameter, so that you will be getting the circumference of the circle. This is known as Grigory's theorem. See? Vyasat vanasangunitat pradagaptam tri adi ayuk vimulakanaihi vyase trinikne kramasah swam rinam kritvavi paridhiraneyu. Multiply the diameter with 4, keep in different place, and divide it with 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. Alternatively, add and subtract this value to 3 times the diameter of the circle. You will be getting the sharpest value of the circumference. Remember that this is known as Kelvin's theorem, but this is discovered by 300 years prior to Kelvin. So Vyasat Chaturgnas Kramasah Pradakstat Tri Panja Sharadi Ayugvimulaganaihi. This is the third one, known as Leibniz's theorem. So take Vyasam, diameter into 4, keep in different places. Take even number cube, subtract that even number from that. 3 cube minus 3, 5 cube minus 5, 7 cube minus 7, 9 cube minus 9, and divide these values respectively 4 times the diameter. Then alternatively subtract and add, changing. Formerly I said add and subtract. Subtract and add to 4 times the diameter, so that you will be getting the correct value. So mathematical problems, astronomical problems, metallurgical problems become more and more sophisticated, so that it becomes the product of an investigation, a research, which can replace some other material effectively, which can give you a solution which hitherto did not have any solution. Say for example, cyclic quadrilateral. One theorem was there, cyclic quadrilateral theorem. Nobody could solve that. Now, one professor from very famous university in the USA, he has proved it correct about 3 months ago using Brahmasputa Siddhanta of India. Brahma Gupta has written a book known as Brahmasputa Siddhanta, and he has adopted a method for explaining the polyhedric quadrilateral inside a circle, its diagonal, its side, its angle connected with that one. So this professor could prove that this quadrilateral theorem is correct using a method adopted by Brahmagupta 1500 years ago. So we may think that Brahmagupta's method is very complicated and nobody can understand. But those who are working in that field in the 21st century could use that for solving his problem, mathematical problem. So very sophisticated knowledge is available. Now say for example, if you have to do a surgery inside, you need not even cut open your body. The most sophisticated laser based operation is possible. And in the Shalya Chikitsa, Sushruta Maharshi has mentioned how to cut the body, and the training is to be given. 108 shastras and yantras were used for the surgery, and all these shastras and yantras, it is given very clearly. See, so the shastras and yantras used in India, and every one of these has got a name. Surprisingly, all these type of instruments are used even today with a modern English name. There's a wonder of that. So they have done it all, even removing the stone from the kidney, or bladder, blood removal, or the skeletal system, bone resetting, even brain surgery, and it was done here. And one George Scorpio, he has taken this knowledge of plastic surgery from Maharashtra, first to Germany, then to England, back to Germany. The first conference of plastic surgeon or international conference of plastic surgeon, in that the invocation prayer was to Sushruta Maharshi, which held in France, Paris, 1932. They bowed their head saying that this knowledge we have borrowed from India. It is mentioned in the Sushruta Samhita, and we bow our head for that sage. And you can see this is what is published in the London Gazette, how it has gone from India. So same picture published there, I have reproduced it very nicely. So, and how it is taken from India, and it is from the nose of a person, as a soldier who has committed some mistake, nose was cut, and after some time the English English commander, so that this fellow's nose has become almost normal. How it happened? The cut nose became almost normal. He called that fellow, asked the question, found out that there is a method in India done by kulalas, potters. The surgery was not done by the medical practitioner, by kulalas, potters. Their own technique, taking a piece of the skin from this side, exactly the shape of the nose, after taking the measurement using a leaf, fix it here, cut the skin, then slowly take it and then fix it here, don't completely disconnect it. So bleeding is required, blood circulation is required. The connection will be removed after 72 days. So that this will become automatically fixed. It is given in detail in one of the books written in Tamils. Even Sangha, Kala, Rajanas, descriptions are also given. But that explanation goes beyond our common sense imagination. That explains like this: the rocket has launched from Tanjavur, it has gone to Malaysia, then it has gone to China, and it has gone to the Sahara and other desert, and it came back after 240 days, like that. But that goes little beyond the imagination of a common scientist. So we do not know anything about this, but it is written as a shlokas, poems. And adding some more point to this, some type of materials using tin, zinc, lead, say for example lead solder, which we got from Lothal, and the Panchaloha, that is another very important thing, and alpha and beta brass, alpha and beta tin. These are all the things which the modern science came to know only very recently, very recently. But you can see the explanation of all these things in one book called Rasaratna Samuchaya, written 1100 years ago by Nagarjuna. So if I tell you about the metallurgy, whether it is iron or lead or tin or metal alloys, brass, bronze, so many number of materials which can be reinvestigated, reproduced and utilized for a variety of components in the machine or in our day-to-day life. Those things we are not reinvestigating, that we can very easily do using the modern technique. That is the importance of that. Even wood steel, if we are making, it can have a variety of application, including as rails for the railway line. So like that we can investigate the whole thing, reinvestigate, study it, wherever applicable, do it. That is the importance of metals. Alpha brass is the brass where less than 28.3% zinc is there. Beta brass is the one where more than 28.3 zinc is there with the copper. This is the difference. Properties are entirely different. Benares sword is made in Damascus. Benares sword making in Damascus. So this is about 500 BC. We were capable of utilizing the wood steel for making the world's best quality sword, which can be used for cutting the neck of a person, which can be used for cutting a plant, which can also be used for cutting a Benares muslin sari. But for making that lotus petal, minimum temperature required is 1350 degrees centigrade. And without using coal and iron, you cannot go beyond 850 degrees centigrade. You cannot go beyond 850 degrees centigrade. How they achieved this temperature still remains a mystery. Vichi Taranganyayena Shabda Ulpatti. This is Patanjali's Sanskrit shloka, which tells that the sound spreads as waves. The velocity of the light, yojananam sahasre dveshate dveja yojane ekena nimisharthena kramamana namostute. The student is taught in the school that the velocity of light is discovered correctly by Sir Isaac Newton. But 300 years before Sir Isaac Newton, in our Vijayanagara Samrajya, when Sayanacharya was there, he has written a book and in which he has given the correct value of the speed of light. See, about our concept of spectrophotometer, student. See, you can see there was a professor in IIT Delhi. His name is Dr. N.G. Dongre. He has published this one in Indian Journal of History of Science, where he has brought out the greatest information that how each and every plate is molded using 16 type of metallic alloy with mercury. Correct specific temperature is mentioned for making that. And they have patented also all this information. And through that, the ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, visible rays and heat rays, these are all measured here. Interesting, when the sun rays come, what is the intensity of visible ray? What is the intensity of UV present in that? What is the heat ray present in that? So they have analyzed using this. As very interesting, we cannot even imagine that such a type of thing was fabricated 23 centuries ago in India. In fact, Brihat Samhita, written by Varahamihira 1500 years ago, gives a lot about the granite, the geological concept, presence of water, the structure of soil and acidity of the soil, etc. He has mentioned about it. And there is one area which is called Shilpa Shastra. Shilpa Shastra. It gives details of the granite. We call it Purusha Shila, Stri Shila, Nabumsaga Shila. It has got a direct link with the geological pattern of the granite. In fact, the geological geochemistry of the granite. Geochemistry of the granite. Here, music pillar can be made only with a selected granite. You can make a sculpture of Buddha or Pandava or Jesus or Krishna using any granite. Music pillar is 1000 pillar, about 1 meter long, about 2 inches diameter. Pillars are there. You can see in all these temples. 1000 numbers are there. Each pillar is Saptaswara set. 7 pillars are there. One set. It gives Sari, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, 8. It will be given. It's called music pillar. Sangeeta Mandapam. J.C. Bose has discovered wireless. After 2 years, Marconi, who was attending the meeting of J.C. Bose, he copied it and he said he has done it. But nobody in England first agreed for that. Later on, J.C. Bose himself said that. It's okay, I don't want to claim all those things. You give the credit to him. Then he became. But in 1999, everybody studied it. Later on came to know that who has discovered wireless for the first time, that is important. Who has told to give the credit to somebody else, that is not the case. Reality, who has discovered it, that is important. Who has claimed is only secondary. So the fact stands that J.C. Bose has discovered wireless. See, when everybody was telling that nothing was there in India, and whatever little we could bring out and tell the people these are our Indian heritage, their face, their mind, their total, that the mind and the face comes like a glory, and their pessimism just vanishes out. And this spirit of building the broad-hearted patriotism, broad-hearted nationalism, just like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam says and he does in 20 hours every day, all the 7 days in a week. That spirit of bringing back India. First of all, some inferiority complex I had, which always pushed me forward, conquer everything, conquer everything. Incidentally, it so happened that I happened to see a movie known as Bawarchi in Hindi. And when I was studying in the +1, just after that fellow was a master of us, every subject, you know that. In mathematics, in dance, in the cooking, and I tried to become like that, consciously or unconsciously. Different people can have different opinion about science, but ultimately we can say ekam tat vipraha bahuda vadanti. Science is only one. Everybody is trying to reach that one point through botany, through zoology, through physics, through chemistry, through management and everything. So that ultimate truth of universal energy, everybody is trying to reach that point through their own ways. I should speak to the people, I should go on giving the lecture, and till my health is there, my leg can take my weight, I would like to continue it. And ultimate aim, while giving a lecture in one of the most renowned universities, I should fall down and die.